Top 5 Tourist Attractions in Massachusetts. As one of the original 13 colonies, Massachusetts has preserved more than its share of historic landmarks from as far back as Pilgrim days. But it's not all history. In Boston's vibrant Faneuil Hall Marketplace, you'll find fashions as new as tomorrow. Landscapes are just as varied, and as you explore these must-see sights, you'll find rolling mountains, waves crashing on rocky shores, green pastures and farmlands, deep forests, and beautiful little postcard-perfect villages that Norman Rockwell immortalized in his paintings. To be sure of finding the best places to visit, plan your trip using this handy list of the top attractions in Massachusetts. 1. Faneuil Hall. Built in 1740, Faneuil Hall was given to the city as a market hall by merchant Peter Faneuil. Along with the market, it was a place for public meetings well used by colonists protesting British taxes and other grievances. In the mid-19th century, it was the scene of anti-slavery meetings, rallies, and speeches. The Ancient and Honorable Artillery Museum on its top floor preserves paintings of battles, along with arms and uniforms. True to its origins, the ground floor is filled with market stalls, which flow out into the 3 nearby market halls, Quincy Market, North Market, and South Market, to make up Faneuil Hall Marketplace. This entire area is almost always lively, filled with shoppers, buskers, tourists, and workers from nearby offices enjoying their lunches on the benches that line the wide promenades between the market halls. The halls themselves are filled with food stalls, pushcarts, shops, restaurants, and cafes. 2. Harvard Square and Museums. Harvard University, one of the world's leading academic centers, is an attraction in itself, filled with historic buildings and exceptional museums. But its surroundings are just as appealing to visit, as the shops, restaurants, cafes, and bookstores around Harvard Square throb with activity at any time of year. The Harvard Art Museums now combine 3 major collections, each of which formerly ranked as major U.S. art museums. Fogg Art Museum specializes in Italian early Renaissance art, and the Busch Reisinger concentrates on German and Northern European Expressionist art, with works by Kandinsky and Klee. The museum's Chinese jade and bronzes, Japanese prints, Indian art, and Greco-Roman antiquities comprise some of the finest collections in the world. 4 more world-class museums sit 2 blocks away on Oxford Street. Harvard's research collections displayed in the Peabody Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology, the Mineralogical Museum, the Museum of Comparative Zoology, and the Botanical Museum. The exceptional Native American exhibits show art and artifacts in the context of a living culture that changed as contact with Europeans increased. The best-known exhibits here, however, are the more than 3,000 glass flowers and plants, so realistic that it's hard to believe they are man-made. The secret of how these were made died with their creators, and the process has never been replicated. You can take lively free walking tours of the Harvard campus led by students. 3. Salem's Historic Houses. While early homes full of period furnishings are thick on New England soil, few places can offer the number, quality, and variety of those you can tour in the former China trade port of Salem. What's more, they represent a wide range of Salem's history and culture, beginning with the Salem witch trials of 1692 and including the House of Seven Gables, immortalized in the book by Nathaniel Hawthorne, whose 1804 birthplace is also open. The 1642 Witch House was the home of Judge Jonathan Corwin, who presided at the witchcraft trials, and it's the only remaining building that's directly connected with the trials. As the hub of the China trade, it's not surprising that Salem streets are lined with homes built by men who grew rich in that era as captains or merchants. 2 homes, the Hawks and Derby houses, are part of the Salem Maritime National Historic Site. 4. Norman Rockwell Museum. One of America's most beloved artists, Norman Rockwell lived and painted in the Berkshires for the last 25 years of his life, and his legacy is preserved here in the museum containing the world's largest collection of his original artworks. Rockwell is best known for his characterization of American life, especially in small towns, and for his representation of the country's ideals. His ability to portray ordinary people and to convey nostalgia, gentle humor, and his deeply held concerns, such as civil rights and America's war on poverty, give his paintings warmth and tremendous appeal. Highlights of the collection are favorites from his Saturday Evening Post covers, The Four Freedoms, and Stockbridge Main Street at Christmas. The Berkshire region has attracted artists, writers, and other creative figures since the early 19th century, and several of their homes and studios are open as tourist attractions, including those of Herman Melville, Edith Wharton, and Daniel Chester French. 5. Island life on Martha's Vineyard. Nowhere in the state can you experience a more idyllic laid-back island life than on Martha's Vineyard. Only 5 miles off the southern coast of Cape Cod, you'll feel the island's relaxed vibe almost from the moment you board the ferry from Woods Hole or New Bedford. The Vineyard has 6 small towns, miles and miles of beaches, lighthouses, weathered shingle houses, sand bluffs, protected waters for kayaking, and a plenty of ocean for sailing. In its slow, rolling landscape, you'll find working farms with farm stands selling everything from just picked strawberries to fresh eggs. In its villages, which have a real year-round life of their own, locals mix easily with summer people, some of whose families have been coming here for generations. You may get a glimpse of some of their cottages, as they refer to the posh estates built by wealthy New York and Boston families.